All right, welcome back, everyone. It is right about that time. Everyone, please roll for initiative as these axe beaks bust out of the grass and start racing at you. I don't really have axe beak tokens, so we're going to use these hawks as placeholders. But go ahead and roll initiative for me so we can start this off.
All right. 20 plus nothing, just plus 0. Beautiful. I have the most okay stats.
Yeah. Okay, axe beaks going on 20.
Oh dear.
Oh, I need to roll initiative.
Yes, please do.
R1d20 plus 7. 15.
Alrighty, so we have 15 for Sambar. We've got 5 for Rose. We've got. Oh no, that wasn't 15. That was 7 for Sambar. That was your nature check. We've got 15 for Janlar. We've got 11 for Tom, and 15 for Villith. So all of these axe beaks come bursting out of the grass after having trailed up, and they begin rushing in. The run up here and will surround party members as best they can see them, but they will stop to attack these beasts of burden that are in their way here as they come charging forward on 2 legs, their axe beaks, and begin pecking down at the creatures in front of them. They roll a 12 to hit Janlar.
When the first one attacks me, I use my reaction to cast shield.
Yes. Okay. As a reaction to their attack, you cast your spell, and a flare of light surrounds you magically.
And then the way my arcane word works, I use a bit of my magic when I cast a first level spell to create my arcane word. So I use just a bit of that magic, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, and you create a ward in front of you. Does a 12 hit you with all of your protections?
No.
No. The second one charges up to strike you again with a 19.
That one hits.
Alrighty. It strikes you for 4 points of damage with its beak. It just comes slamming down on top of you, breaking through the magical protections around you, and the sharp beak cashes deeply into your shoulders. They begin to roll attacks against the oxen. Missing that one. 3. Okay, so the one oxen takes 4 points of damage, and one oxen takes 4. And 2. Alright, the oxen are scared and chained up and bleeding now as these birds begin slashing into their oxen chests, and blood and screams of beasts of burden begin erupting out. Villith and Janlar, which of you has the highest agility?
Sure.
Probably Villith this time.
I have a +2.
I have +3 dex.
Yeah.
All right, Villith, you go first. What is up? What do you do? How do you react to these birds of prey rushing in and beginning to attack your beasts of burden and your friends?
I'm going to pull out a net and throw it at the closest one to me. That one.
Okay.
Which I need to roll in here. No, that's a D10. That won't work. Well, it's less likely to work, that's for sure. So I throw a net at it, and that didn't work. I threw
You
a
just
period.
slash roll, not period slash roll.
Yep.
All right.
So 15 to hit.
Yes, your net strikes it and begins to wrap itself around the axe beak, and it just kind of like gets collapsed down in itself and has to fight to break free of this net, squawking violently the entire time.
So it's restrained, and then I'm going to move across the wagon and jump over here.
Okay.
And pull out my rapier.
Okay.
And engage the other one.
Okay, perfect. Please roll to hit it.
Oh, I assume I can't make 2 attacks.
Oh, that's right. Yes, you already rolled your net. I was already forgetting. Perfect. Janlar, you see the Axebeak restrained by a net, and your new friend Villith jump off the wagon to engage the other Axebeak. What do you do after being struck by the other 2 that have surrounded you?
Well, I'm surrounded, and then making a ranged spell attack would create attack of opportunity, so I'm gonna pull out my dagger and attack with my dagger.
Okay.
I don't think it's an attack of opportunity. It just makes you fight at disadvantage.
That is true.
Oh, I'll still attack with my d20. Or
Okay.
my dagger, I mean.
You pull out your dagger to slash at the beast, but unfortunately, you do not get a very good slash in. You come up with a bunch of feathers, and no real damage done as it just continues to try to peck at you with its sharp beak-like face. The next to act is Tom. Tom, you see this feathery attackers coming at you. What do you do?
Tom's still kind of grabbing his head a little bit to deal with the headache. Figures Janlar can probably take care of himself, especially with Rose to help. And I'm going to go up and try to protect these beasts of burden up here. So I'm going to engage this one right here.
We fought together. He knows I can take care of myself.
Yeah. So I'm gonna swing my mace at this one.
Okay, this one is restrained by a net, so you have advantage.
Oh wait, which one? Okay, so he did it. I thought he went for that one.
This one here is restrained.
Okay, so which one did he engage with his attack? Because he attacked one too, right?
Well, he hasn't attacked yet, but he is in melee range. With
Okay, never mind. I'll engage these 2 then. My bad.
Okay, all right.
So I'll go right here.
Sure.
Try to interpose myself, and I'm gonna take a swing at this one with my mace, which is 4 to hit for an 18.
You strike it.
All right, so it takes d6 plus 2, and then as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon, and a golden spear made out of light appears next to Tom. Right, I don't know how to create a marker, but it's gonna show up right here.
Ooh.
And it makes a weapon attack that attacks with my wisdom modifier, which is exactly the same. So 20 plus 4 again. That one's going to miss. But now I have a spiritual weapon, that'll last for the next 10 rounds.
I gave you a spear. My sick art skills. All right.
Nice.
Your spear strikes and misses with you, but it is now shimmering in front of this Axebeak, which turns now to you after being struck across the face with your mace, and seems to have its attention focused upon you. Sambar Redhorn, strided across this wagon. Your friends are under attack by these Axebeaks. What do you do?
Alrighty, I ready my bow. And I will take a shot at this one here.
All right, you draw your heavy longbow and pull it back and fire at the creature.
I let out a mighty bleat as I take a shot.
You bleat.
That's what deer do.
Yes. You bleat mightily. But your arrow flies wide of the mark into the grassland, somewhere hidden in the land. What? Do anything else you're doing with your turn?
Yeah, I'm going to move into melee combat with it so that it
Okay, you shoot with your bow, put it on your back, and then move into melee combat. Excellent, Rose. You have seen the whole parties begin engaging these creatures. What do you do?
Alright, so I guess I see that 2 of the creatures are going for Janla, and Rose doesn't quite know. She's still worried about because of what happened just yesterday, right? Mm-hmm. So she panics a little bit, and what happens is that her, in a very sudden movement, the rose on her neck just opens up and releases this little burst of sparkling dust, somewhat similar to if you saw Emily do the fairy fire, right? And it makes her sneeze really badly, so she just goes, and at that second, it looks like her whole body just slumps together. Like she goes on the ground and the cloak just spreads out. And then 1 second later, you can see that like a white wolf just jumps out from underneath the cloak and like goes for one of the creatures. I can't detect that, but
Nice.
you know,
You
I'm
turn
ready
into this
to-
powerful wolf. All right. Where do
ready
you
to
engage?
defend my friends.
Nice.
So I'll stand here.
Nice, awesome. Okay, and with that, the axe beaks begin their turn once again. They begin pecking away at those in front of them. The one that you've engaged as a wolf has identified you as immediately the biggest threat, and will turn around to peck at you, Rose, instead of Janlar, with a 15 to hit.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Okay, and it does 7 points of damage as its axe beak comes down sharp and powerful on the haunches of your wolf form.
Oh, how do we do it with the form? Do I roll my HP or do I keep the average that's in the book?
I
Whatever you
like
prefer.
to roll HP. It makes me
Okay.
happy, but I'm not gonna force you to roll HP if you don't want to. If you want to
No.
take the average.
We can roll it. I'm fine with that. Let me have a quick look. That is it. 14.
All right. So 7 of that is sliced away by the
Sorry,
powerful
amateur.
axe beak. Janlar, you are struck at with a 10. Your magical wardings and your shields deflecting the blow away from you. This axe beak here turns to face you, Vilith, as you have interposed yourself with its prey and its meal, and it will strike at you for 5. Doubtfully hitting. You nimbly duck and dodge your way out of it. This one here is restrained by the net and attempts to free itself. What is it? Yeah, it just gets a +2 on that. Yeah. And does so. Its sharp beak slicing through the net as it unfurls and squawks loudly.
The faintest shimmer of irritation crosses Vilith's face as it slashes its way out, but
Yeah.
it's fine. She tied it up for a round.
Yeah. This axe beak here has been struck by a mace and will definitely attempt to attack down Tom, but fails to penetrate your armor. Its axe beak just slamming into your metal armor and your shield repeatedly, but ineffectually. This axe beak here turns and looks at you, Sambar, and with a mighty squawk, it attempts to strike at you with a 21 to hit.
Yeah.
And its sharp beak slices into you for 2 points of damage, just striking you across like the arm. As you defend yourself, you just get a nice little cut of blood. And
Merely
that's
a scratch.
merely a scratch. Yes, Vilith, it becomes your turn as
Alright.
you are engaged with this creature trying to strike at you. You see the net getting sliced open. What do you do?
I'm gonna pull out my short sword. So I've got 2 weapons out, and I'm going to use my action to attack the axe beak in front of me.
All right.
I miss Gormax +7. I'm not gonna lie.
Good times.
We all miss Gormax +7.
We do.
Is 13 a hit?
A 13 is a hit. You
Okay,
you
cool.
strike the creature. This is with your short sword.
This is with the rapier.
That's
with
with the
my
rapier.
main attack, and the short sword's the offhand
Okay,
weapon.
perfect.
1d8 plus 2d6 because I can sneak attack it because I'm not engaged by anything else.
Correct. You swashbuckler you.
Yep, plus 3. Well, that's
Oh.
disappointing on the d8, but
you engage it with your rapier and your short sword. You kind of open up a little bit of an opportunity and plunge your rapier deep into the torso of this creature, near where you think its heart is. You see it kind of reel back and scream in pain as you unleash your second attack.
yep, which is gonna be with the it's not a short sword, it's a scimitar, but same difference.
Okay, so you have a scimitar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
A 21
So,
also
21
hits.
All right,
Yes.
and then that's just going to be /R1d6 because I don't get a damage bonus or sneak attack a second time. So it takes another 5 from the scimitar.
But it is just enough to kill this creature as it recoils back from your first strike. Its head kind of ducks down, and you're able to bring your scimitar down and just decapitate it. And unlike most chickens, it does not run around with its head cut off. It in fact dies in front of you. Blah.
Alright, and then I will use my movement to just circle around in front to engage this other one.
Absolutely, yes. You engage this newly agitated Axebeak after it breaks out of its net, staring at you with cold bird-like eyes. The next to go is Janlar. You have been struck by one of these birds. You have a new companion fighting next to you. What do you do next?
I'm gonna attack with Ray of Sickness on the one in front of me.
Okay.
Which will be a disadvantage.
It will be a disadvantage because it's a ranged attack.
So I'll have to roll another one.
15 is enough to hit. So what does it look like as you hit this with Ray of Sickness?
There's no material component for Ray of Sickness, so I'm waving my hands in a counterclockwise motion and saying some mystical words under my breath, and then a green beam of light comes out and hits this
Yes.
this guy.
All right, you begin your
Takes 2d8.
counterclockwise. Yeah, you roll that 2d8. The green light just hits it. It begins to wilt and look. The feathers begin to molt off of it where the green light casts and touches. For 12 points of damage. Ooh.
And he also must make a DC 13 con saving throw.
Con?
Yeah, or be poisoned.
Okay, 14, so he passes. You see the sickness kind of spread right where it was touched, but it doesn't race out the rest of the way through his body. Just merely where the light fell was the sickness touched. The next to go is Sambar. No, Tom. I'm sorry, Tom. You see the beast in front of you smacking itself into you repeatedly. Your spear trying to thrust in there. What do you do?
Well, it's gonna get a mace to the face. For starters, with a 14.
Right. A 14 strikes the beast in front of you.
All right. Takes another 8 points of damage.
Another 8 points of damage. Oh! Your mace cracks it across the face. You see pieces of its axe-like beak shatter and fall to the ground in front of you. It's wounded and in pain, but still standing.
All right, and then as a bonus action, my spear kind of like fizzles up into the sky a little bit, then just like comes smashing down like a lightning bolt into this thing for 14, which is also a hit.
That is a hit.
And this time it takes another 4.
But enough to skewer and kill the creature. Like a lightning bolt, your magical spear descends upon the creature in front of you and skewers it from head to toe in the ground. And you see it just collapse into the spiritual weapon and die.
All right.
Do you want to command movement? Oh, my spear is not all one.
Oh yeah, I can move it up to 20 feet. Yeah, I'll move it up to engage. I think the satyr and the rogue can handle themselves, especially if I'm here physically, so I can move it up to 20 feet. I can move it to there, and then I can move it more next round. So let's move it like right here.
Yes, your spear has arrived as it floats on. Okay, that ends your turn, I believe?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, excellent. That brings us to Sambar. You are engaged now, hand to hand, with this bird of prey right in front of you. What do you do?
I've slid my spear off my back, and I'm going to give this bird some what for.
Yes.
With another bleat!
With a mighty bleat!
Oh, are you kidding me?
The bird dances away from your spear, attempting to give you a little bit of an axe head as a return, but is unable to. But your spearing falls ineffectually against the air. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
No. Oh, No, I'm not going to use action surge. No, that's
Okay, excellent. Rose, you see Janlar unleash this horrible ray of pale green light against the creature next to him. What do you do?
I will snarl and try to attack the bird in front of me, and
Yes.
I feel empowered by Chandler on my side, and I get pack tactics.
Ooh, you do indeed get pack tactics.
Eat. Oh yeah!
Oh, you rip up, jump, and your fangs latch around the long neck of this bird, and you feel your fangs sink in as you rip and tear. Please roll damage.
For 9
For
damage.
9 points of damage. Excellent.
And if it's not down, it has to make a DC 11. Hold on. What is
Strength, I
it?
believe.
DC 11. Strength. Yeah,
Yes.
strength saving throw.
It fails. You latch
Right.
onto this and you drag it to the ground, and you are on top of it in your wolf-like form, as it is prone in front of you, neck bleeding. Excellent. That brings us to the turns of the creatures. The one that you have dragged down by the neck is on its back, unable to attack you, flailing wildly. It attempts to stand up, which I believe it can just do. You're not grappled with it. Yeah. So it uses its movement to stand up. Its wild, beady eyes look at you in your wolf form and attempt to strike at you for a 13 to hit. Does that strike
That
your wolf?
is a hit. Yes,
It
that's
does.
exactly my AC.
Okay. And so it brings its sharp beak down once again on your wolfy form for 3 points of damage, probably unable to really get a lot of force behind its neck now that it's all cut up and bleeding from your fangs. The one that got hit by a ray of sickness by Janlar is definitely wary, cocking its head around, doesn't seem too enthused with continuing the fight, and so it, having been blasted by a ray of magic, is going to flee as its morale is broken.
With Warcaster, I get an attack of opportunity with a spell if it tries to flee.
Sure, yeah, you're a warcaster, Janlar. What
So I'm
spell do you respond with as it turns to flee from you?
Does it have to be a spell or can it be a cantrip? Do you know?
A cantrip is a spell.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna attack with Firebolt, then it's back to the
Yes.
wrong way.
All right, as it turns to run, you unleash some fire at it, striking it in the hind legs. Please roll for damage.
7 points of damage.
Ooh, it erupts in a column of flame. You smell roasted bird as it falls to the ground, enveloped in flame and dying. The one engaged with Tom has not been struck by magic yet. With Villith, excuse me. And it will attempt to bring its sharpened beak down upon you with a 10 to hit.
10 misses.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Yeah.
Bringing us last to the thing in combat with Sambar Redhorn. It too feels like it is going to eat its prey tonight. But once again, cannot get in on you. You, with your spear, you just keep knocking its face away from you, while Villith nimbly dodges each of the beak's attacks. Villith, you've seen this thing ineffectually try to stab at you. You've seen Janlar erupt one into flame. What do you do?
I'm gonna look down at my net that's like around this thing's feet, sort of curl my lip a little bit, and then just attack it with both weapons.
Excellent.
I took that in character creation.
Yeah. 7 is probably gonna miss.
You lunge forward with your rapier, but it doesn't strike home as the axe beak dances away, perhaps opening it up for your second attack.
Yeah, I'll try with the scimitar. Nope.
No,
Nope.
you miss both times as the axe beak proves that it too is agile and capable of ducking away from your attacks. Anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
Let's see. I'm just going to move. I'm just going to circle around over to here.
Okay.
So I'm next to. Is that Tom?
Yes.
Okay, so that I'm next to Tom.
Do you just need to be in range of an ally, or does the ally have to be engaged with the enemy?
For what?
your sneak attack?
As a swashbuckler, I don't even have to have an ally engaged with it. If I'm at least, as long as I'm not getting ganged up on, I can still sneak attack.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes. If he's 1v1ing an enemy, he gets sneak attack 1 time per round, which is pretty cool as a swashbuckler.
Yep.
Alrighty. And with that, it leads us to Tom. You see Vilith engaged with this creature kind of circling around towards you. What do you do?
Well, I'm going to go and split my focus here. I'm going to move down here to help out Sandbar, because he's really struggling with this fight. Can't seem to find a blow that lands. So I'm going to come in to lend some support with a 16.
Alrighty.
And I smack it for 5 points of damage.
For 5 points of damage on
then,
the undamaged one. All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then as a bonus action, I'll move my spear to here, actually. Change its course. It moves up there. And I'm going to go ahead and make an attack on the one that is engaged with Vilith. D20 plus 4 again for a 19.
For a 19, that hits. Yes.
All right. And it takes D8 plus 2. It takes 7 points of damage.
7 points of damage, which the one engaged with Vilith is also unhurt. This is the first time your magic spear flies over, begins striking this creature as it dances away from Vilith, hitting it with 7 points of damage. That leaves us to Janlar. What do you do as you have erupted flame over the one that ran away from you? There's another one striking your wolf companion next to you. You are muted, sir.
You're muted.
Sorry. I'm going to turn and strike that with my dagger. The one that's fighting the wolf. Ooh.
That is a crit, my friend. You pull out a dagger right at the perfect moment and sink it deep into the flesh of this of this wolf. Please roll some damage for me.
For 6 points of damage.
6 points of damage. It falls, struck by an axe or a knife in the back, and dies. All right, this leaves only 2 left, and it brings us around to Sambar Redhorn. What do you do?
All right. I guess I'm gonna give him another swing. Come on, you bastard! Stop dodging me and die.
You finally strike it with your spear, perhaps getting pinned between you and Tom doesn't allow an escape route, as it does 6 points of piercing damage on the creature. Oh, it is hurt, and it squawks, but continues to live and fight. This one here. No, so this brings us to Rose. Rose, you've been relieved of the axe beak in front of you by Janlar. He stabbed it into the back and died. What do you do?
I will run around the cart and around the scary spear and attack this.
Is the glowing golden spear of Bridges scary to
that
you?
looks like a ray from the sun.
It's probably like the wolf runs around the cart and then just, stops and has a look and then just like makes a little turn around.
Yeah.
And then attacks that one in front.
Alrighty. 22, that hits.
8 damage.
For 8 damage, which is exactly enough to bring down this creature. You once again jump on it and bear it to the ground, ripping its throat out with your fangs as the axe beak dies in front of you. Awesome. That leaves just one left. It does not realize its companions are dead yet because it is struck in mortal combat with 2 enemies. But it is getting fought from 2 different flanks, which is, it's a cowardly creature. It doesn't really like that much. It's going to make a morale roll, which it succeeds. It wants to keep fighting, and it wants to keep fighting its prey here. It's fawn right in front of it. So it brings its axe beak down one more time for an 11. I don't think that hits you. Nope. All right. Vilith, you are the first to react, as almost all of these creatures have been slain. What do you do?
I will go ahead and attempt to... I'll sort of run down here to get behind this thing, and I will stab it in le back.
In le back. All right.
Yep.
Please roll to hits with your rapier.
First one's 11.
11 does not hit, surprisingly.
Okay. All right, and then Scimitar, 18.
All right, as it dances away from your rapier and from the spear and from the mace, you finally get your sword in there and slash it. Please roll
I
damage.
still don't get my proficiency, right? It's not just you only get it on one, it's you don't get it on your offhand weapon.
It's just with your offhand weapon.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Your offhand weapon is the one that takes the penalties basically for dual wielding.
All right. So
Right.
it takes 12.
Okay, it takes 12 and it dies. How do you finish this off?
So I'll sort of do a little combat roll behind Tom, and then from a crouched position, I will just cut this thing off at the legs, and then as it falls down, I'll just stab it with the scimitar.
Yes, you do exactly that. As its legs fall, you slice the ACLs in these powerful legs. It falls down next to you, and you just run it through with your sword, silencing the squawks of this creature. And now the field of grass lays still once again, flowing ever so slightly in the cool easterly breeze.
Tom will say, could anyone who was injured please gather in a circle? I'll heal anything's injuries.
Vilith will kind of flick the blood off of her blades, sheathe both of them, and pick up her net that she entangled the first one with, not needing any healing.
I'll come over with the bird by the leg, right?
You got a big ass drumstick.
Yeah, it's just I'm gonna go around and collect them and collect some feathers.
Did anybody take any damage?
You did,
No,
and two of the ox did.
My abjuration ward took that damage for me, so I didn't actually take any.
Okay,
Just
I know
take
two of the
the rest
ox
of the
did.
damage I have.
We waste nothing in the plains carrying two birds by the leg.
So wait, was it just the two ox?
Yes, the oxen are wounded. You see sharp lines of blood drawn down their shoulders, where the hitches kept them stuck. They're panicking for sure, but Horse Dog Mercer is there trying to keep them calm.
In that case, I'll just do 2 cure wounds on them instead of burning prayer of healing, and I'll just heal both of the injured.
Okay, yes.
So one gets 9 back, the other gets 10 back.
That heals them.
Tom.
Yeah, that heals the 2 oxen, and they are back to kind of full strength after some moments of cajoling. The oxen are less panicked and no longer bucking in their hitchings, as you are once again free to move about these plains. They're silent.
I guess
and glowing.
As Tom is doing his healing magic and people are gathering corpses or whatever, I make my way back to the cloak, and you see the wolf struggling to get back under the cloak, similar to a dog that tries to get under a blanket, if you've ever seen that. So that's what Rose tries to do, and then a few seconds later, she just stands back up, full posture, and fastens her cloak around her shoulders again.
Nice. All right.
Yeah,
Well, after sorry.
Mount the. You see my character mount the cart with a bird in his lap. And he's just pulling feathers.
Yeah, you just
Put it
plucking
in
feathers. The birds are very large. The birds are a large-sized creature. So it takes up most of the cart as Sambar Redhorn is here plucking this very large creature of all of its feathers.
Greg, did the axe beak deal actual slashing damage to the net, or did it just use its action to just break free?
It just used its action to break free. It for color, I said it slashed its way out, but
it
mechanically, it just wormed its way free with its
all
strength
right. So
check.
yeah, Vilith sits down on the cart and just kind of inspects the net and probably stitches it up in a couple.
With a few moments, maybe 20 minutes or so on the cart of sewing back together some pieces from your kit, you can easily make the net once again serviceable.
All right, and then puts it away.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Once everything is all set up and you've recovered, Horse Dog kind of comes around and says, huh? Good thing we have the Seekers. I guess it's not just orcs we have to worry about out here in the Sea of Grass. Well, we should carry on a little bit, I guess. We still have some light before the sun fully sets on us. Or do you think we should make camp here?
We can keep going.
All right, then let us push on. And Horse Dog will push you on until full night, taking full advantage of the setting sun down to its dying light, before finally circling your 2 wagons together and beginning to set up a little bit of a small fire to keep warm. Out of his caravan, he produces kind of like a large windshield, essentially. He has these large flies set up with canvas over the top of them that he sets up to the east to keep out the chilling wind from your little made-up camp.
So what I'm hearing, he's a glamper, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
I don't know what a glamper is, but if it sounds right, the shoe must fit.
It's camping, but glam.
He's just
So
very
you don't
well
go
prepared.
without power. You don't go without power or any of your normal day-to-day uses. It's
Those people that go play video games out in the woods call it
Yeah.
camping.
Exactly.
That's such a foreign concept to me. Weird.
Usually in an RV.
Okay. That's not really what he's doing. He's just very well prepared. He knows to keep the wind out because as a cold fall night, and you well know from your time out in the Sea of Grass last night, it can be quite cold and quite demanding out here. He helps keep the wind off. He eventually retires back into the back of his caravan to go about his business and eat. You hear these kind of like large grinding sounds as he goes about munching on some more ore. The rest of you are free for the night to do as you will. What do you do as you camp here?
My character is just like leans to, let's say, Tom, because he's the closest. It's like, is he okay? There's a lot of grinding going on in the back of his cart.
Horse Dog is weird, and apparently some sort of construct. Look, it's our job to take him back to Sarmanath.
Okay.
Villith will be like sort of standing off to the side watching the moon rise, and as the moonlight touches her skin, it fades back to the paleness that it was the night before, and her sclera go black. And she turns back and she says, "You're doing a marvelous job getting him back to Sarmanath. I'm pretty sure it's..." And she points the opposite direction that we're going and goes, "That way."
Well, the original plan was to stuff him into a bag and take him back.
I like
whether
that
we wanted
plan.
to or not. I did like that plan, but
I've used that plan before.
I hold up my sack. I hold up my spare sack. I'm like, do you want to put him in a bag?
No. It's too late now. We have one more stop before we go back to Sarmanath. We might as well just see it through at this point.
See, Bill, sometimes you have to build relationships with people instead of just violently kidnapping them.
Depends what you're getting paid for.
Also, is it violent if we just stuff him in the sack? Like, I'm not going to beat him up first.
I could knock him out.
Look, no. If he won't go back up to this next town, we can go with the sack plan. But at this point, we've come far enough that we can just see it through.
Okay, and I like fold it in half and roll up the sack, put it back in my bag. I'll be back soon. I'm going to fetch us, well, some berries and stuff to go with this dinner, and I'm going to use my wanderer feat that I got from my background.
Yeah. So, what I want you to do is make a survival check, DC 10, because you're in your like home grass.
24.
Excellent.
23.
So, for every number above 10 that you succeed by, you collect that many pounds of serviceable food.
We have 13 pounds of serviceable
Yeah, so
food.
what do you, when you go hunting out here in the dead of night, what do you hunt? Or is it just you cook up these axe beaks? How is it that you come back with that much food?
I think I set the axe beak, like, obviously I cut it down. I'd gut it, flare it out, set that on 2 sticks over the fire. While that's cooking, and I just like turn to Jen, I'm like, can you flip this in like 10 minutes? I'll be right back. And then I just dart off into the grasslands and like I'll go and like find like a small, like very dry looking bush that grows at the same height as the grass that's got berries on it. And like in the shade of like one of those trees, there might be some like mushrooms that grow or something because they're in the perfect angle for like minimal sunlight, and just like collecting local resources that I know because I live here.
I like to imagine that when you give Janlar that instruction, because he's a wizard who has to do like exact rituals, he's like counting exactly the seconds to know right, like 1, 2. He's like keeping tempo to make sure he knows right when it hits 10 minutes so he can flip it.
Janlar, when he says that, Janlar casts. I think I have a 10-minute spell. I think Mage Hand lasts 10 minutes. I'm not sure. But I count 10 minutes out and then definitely flip it.
You can cast Detect Magic.
You cast Detect Magic as a ritual, and you know that when you're done, that's been 10 minutes. That is awesome.
So right when I can see the magic, I'm like, it's time to flip it.
It's the magic time.
Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome.
For the night, I think Tom finally gets ready to do his services for Gormak and Emily, and he starts like building up a fire, and eventually, like he's getting the wood, and he clears out an area, and he starts getting logs, and eventually he gets really sick of it, and he says, "Screw this!" and he casts Flaming Sphere into the middle and just creates a giant sphere of flame to serve as
So you
his...
probably aren't getting logs. Trees are few and far between.
Yeah, like that's probably why he gets frustrated with
Yeah.
it. He just takes this cleared area and just snaps his fingers and makes a giant 5-foot sphere of flame. Says, if anyone wants to say any words for Emily and Gormak, I'm going to start the services now. And he starts his usual like cleric ritual of giving like last rites to the departed.
Absolutely right. You say he says a very similar prayer to what was said when the body of Brea was burned at Willard's Mill. Asking that the fires of Bridges free her and allow her to walk the path of Hala to the stars. And he asks that when what is gone is burned away, let something renewed rise up again in the ashes. Ceremoniously. Horsedog walks into his caravan, and he pulls out some seeds to hand to you, Tom. Is like, here for the planting. I know you'll want it. And the floor is open to any of you to say some words over your fallen comrades.
Well, I guess I would buy some of those seeds as well, similarly to what I did last time, right? So I buy like a handful of seeds.
Horsedog will not charge you for them. He just lets you grab a handful from the same floor.
And I slowly approach the big flaming sphere. Very uncomfortable, obviously, but this is what humans do, and sometimes you have to put up with these things, so that's okay. It's gonna be fine. No worries. Slightly shaking, walking towards the thing. Then Rose puts like she puts the seeds on the floor, and she says, they've only been with us for a short time, but they made me realize a lot about myself. And I hope I can always be as brave as the Spriggan Emily sang about. And then I step backwards, and what happens is that Rose and extends her arm, and this time you actually see the whip coming out in a straight line, and she hits the seeds perfectly square in the middle with a perfect whip shot that would have made Gormak very, very proud. And those seeds just they just explode in a little little flowers, right, that just fly into the flames and slowly burn to a crisp, I guess.
Lion King style, some clouds kind of form into Gormak's face, looking down at the fire, and he just nods at her perfect shot.
Yeah, because now I actually do have the whip cantrip.
I like to believe that's actually canonical. is that the clouds, like as the spirit of Janlar is evoked by this ritual, and the smoke of the flames come up to reach the moon, like clouds form in the face of Gormak as he smiles over the whip. It's like, you have learned well, young Rose.
Exactly. And I step back from the giant sphere. I walk backwards though, facing the sphere, because I can't turn my back towards it. So
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
Never turn your back to the fire.
exactly.
All right. Does anyone else have anything words they want to say for the departed, or is it time to end the ritual?
I'm just standing there quietly.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
People.
Tom says some words for Gormak and calls him a brave fighter and a steadfast companion, and then kind of like muddles off a little bit and says, I don't know about Emily, but Gormak trusts her, so she can.
Oh, you know it might be bad when the
God.
cleric disrespects you at the funeral. Alrighty.
And then so he finishes up the ritual.
Brigands come out of everywhere, little fey creatures, and haunt you in your sleep.
And as we're like wrapping up the ceremony, before the sphere like times out, he'll, because I can control where it moves freely, I can like move it a foot toward Rose just to mess with her a little bit.
She gives you a look that could probably kill. Like,
Save or die versus glare. Alright.
I mean, Tom is, he insisted he is Tom Lightbringer, but this session he's been nothing but fire. Like,
Well, fire has light. They're very closely tied to each other.
we need to have a talk about the elements, obviously. At some point.
And with that, the ritual comes to a close. The sphere of fire winks out, and you all make up camps for the night. Pass it peacefully into the next day, and once again begin your journey to the Skelos Creek. To the east of Wayside. After about a day and a half's travel from the beginning of your journey, you arrive at Skelos Creek, and you see a small town. The last one was kind of built up, normal wooden buildings above kind of the ground. Here, everything seems to be kind of built into a kind of small hilly area, very reminiscent of like mound-style housings. There's moss and grasses growing on top of them. But you know it's the town because everything is well cultivated here. The grass is chopped down, not allowed to grow high above your waist into your chest. There's small gardens, Rose, you realize, both vegetables and flowers, the things that you didn't see in Wayside you see here. As people bustle about here, you notice that almost everyone here is a... excuse me, almost everyone here is a halfling at Skelos Creek. And there seems to be quite a bit of hustle and bustle about. As there are groups of people kind of formed in small clusters, speaking excitedly about the coming day, and you come to realize that you have arrived here on the day to celebrate the pre-winter feast, as the Hobbit town is coming awake in the middle of the morning here. Or actually, probably closer to the afternoon, I should say. It's getting ready to make work of this. You hear the talk of tart eating competitions and small ring tosses, tests of strengths. They're getting ready all these kind of festival things. There are elders walking around town attempting to repaint and reinforce the old sigils at the edge of the town to keep away the magic forces of the night. And there's talk of a hunter contest as well that is being organized as you kind of walk in.
All right, you hear me getting all giddy when I hear a hunting contest. But,
Yeah.
can I roll a history to know the like event that's going on?
You don't need to roll history. This is the pre-winter feast. You've come to the end. You've come to the end of the harvest season. You're about midway through the fallow. Feasting in the dead of winter out here is cold and not really a great idea. So the pre-winter feast is to celebrate the end of the harvest and the community that you're about to walk into the long nights of winter with. This is something that is practiced both in Wayside and in Skillet's Creek here, along with a number of smaller towns out away from the old road, near the Sea of Grass and in the hills nearby.
Cool. Well, I guess I'm going to ask, when is the hunt? Where do I sign up?
The hunt is being organized as we speak. You'll want to talk with the head of the village here. Just sign yourself or your group up. Whoever brings home the biggest kill in time for the cooking, they are declared the winners and the kings of the feast. Or queens, he says, as he looks over to Villith and Rose. Says,
I look at the party. Is it alright if I go run off into the grasslands? Like, I'm all giddy. I'm like, this is a glorious moment.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, you just see me literally like run, skip, like, like the thing, and I'm like first person in line. I'm nearly pushing my way through the crowd.
As you like run off, Tom just shouts after you, like, "Don't die!"
You just hear me turn back. I don't plan to.
Alrighty. You find relatively easily the elders of the town. Most of them are still walking around making the sigils, reinforcing them with their paints. But there are a couple of older hobbit women with like kind of long tan dresses that are talking with an excited bunch of youth about the hunting contest. You eventually arrive and they look at you to your turn and say, hello, you are not a member of the town. Do you wish to join the hunting contest?
Yes, I do. As I like get down lower, because obviously they're hobbits, they're little people.
you squat down on your kind of deer-like legs to kind of level with them. He says, "Oh, excellent. I haven't seen a satyr hunt before, but I am quite happy to have you here. Who is with your team? Will it just be you joining?"
1 second. I just turn back and I yell from like a decent distance away. Do you want to hunt with me?
Would I be of help? I'm pretty loud. I don't hunt.
Good point. No, just me.
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
I can. I mean, I guess I mean, I wouldn't be a good queen, I think, but maybe I can still participate. I don't know.
Put me down.
We're happy to have you participate, my dear. What an unusual team we have this year. I wish you the best of luck. Best of luck. The rules are simple. Return by sunset when we will begin the festival proper, and we will have our magicians heat and cook and roast all of the killings. Whoever brings the largest game, fairly, mind you, no shenanigans. We know how to catch cheaters. You are the winners, and you'll be the kings or queens, as may be the case, of the feast.
Okay, be back soon. And I'm just like, grab and just run off.
All right, Rose and Sambar, you are off to hunt the largest game you can find in the Sea of Grass.
I just remember the giant, like, dire line he was carrying into the tavern, and I realized my terrible idea. So...
Alrighty. Excellent. The other three of you, what are you doing here in town? Horsedog Mercer kind of rumbles his way into the center of town. He seems delighted that there's a festival. I always sell more in a festival. And he begins setting up his shop. What are the three of you doing here in town?
They all stand next to the cart and talk about dead people.
Yeah, I was about to go up to the cart and purchase.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I
Horse
think I'm catching on at this point, and I'm just gonna like stand there as like the guard for his cart, and I have like the most menacing face possible.
I was gonna say I'm really tempted to say that I just stand next to Horse Dog talking about really awkward things, but the other two already jumped on it.
So the three of you just awkwardly sit around the
Villith,
cart, guarding it.
I think Villith will kind of like wander around town and see what there is to see out here.
Absolutely. The whole town seems to be in the process of getting ready for this festival. There's this kind of large square table where you get the smell of tarts that are being cooked. Various flavors, most of them very nutty and earthy, but there are a few fruits and sweet smelling ones as well. And they're being laid out in large stacks. Again, you hear whispers of the coming tart eating competition later in the afternoon. There's little kind of booths set up for children where the children of the town are playing ring toss or having kind of a test of strength with an anvil and mallet on like a pulley. There are little places with potatoes bobbing in barrels of water that the kids are partaking in. You hear as you kind of walk around that there is kind of a larger emphasis for the adults on the hunters competition for the evening feast, as well as the pig wrestling competition. This is considered to be quite fun, and everyone around the town seems to be really looking forward to it. But it's an atmosphere, and as you've hit kind of midday here, the preparations are beginning to kind of take shape and turn into a full-blown kind of party atmosphere the closer you get to mid-afternoon to evening.
All right. Yeah, Villith will just kind of like walk around and sort of mentally map the town out so she knows where everything is.
Okay.
And then just kind of, head back and be around Horse Dog's cart, but not like uncomfortably close.
All right, you begin hanging around the cart. Tom, you guard it with a dour expression, trying to intimidate the hobbits from popping up, but they seem to take that fairly in stride. It seems that guards around Horse Dog's cart are not an uncommon sight for them, and they all smile and cheerio and toodaloo you. Some of them even ask if you'll be participating in any of the shenanigans. But they seem to mostly just go about their business with Horse Dog, selling the vegetables and grains and things that they've made here. They seem to do a lot of agriculture here in and around town. They're selling agriculture for more finished goods from Horse Dog from the other towns.
What other kinds of shenanigans are there?
What other kind? Okay, well, let's just start reading a list of shenanigans. We have hunting contest, tart eating competition, ring toss, test of strength, potato bobbing, cart rides. There's a smoke ring blowing competition. There's the pig wrestling. What else? There is an archery competition, and I believe that is it as far as prepped shenanigans.
Tom kind of like thinks about it and scratches at his chin and says, "Sign me up for the smoke ring blowing, but I'm afraid I'm far too average to win at anything else."
Oh, the hobbits are delighted that you would join them in smoke ring blowing. They're like, "Oh yes!"
Villith looks at him and says, "I'll challenge you to that."
Excellent.
Best of luck.
The dwarfs and not dwarfs, the halflings rub their hands together. Big rosy cheeks, very happy to hear that. You see someone walking around with big bushy mustache and like a bunch of pipes. Eventually, walk up to the two of you and be like, "Ah, yes, I hear you wish to be in the smoke ring blowing competition. Do you need pipes? I've heard seekers are capable of wonderful things."
I think I do need a pipe, actually. Yeah, I don't have one.
I would gladly hand one out for a seeker in the festival. Oh, we are going to have an excellent feast this year. And he hands you a pipe and just absentmindedly hands one to Villith as well. Says, "I will be seeing you in about an hour's time. It will be a good day. We're going to use Miss Blackberry's porch. You see, it's very dim over there. We can see all the amazing smoke rings. I'm excited." and just kind of shovels his way off. So, while you are doing that, I want to hear how Rose and Sambar are going about their hunting.
I'm gonna go pee while they hunt.
Okay. What are you doing out in the hunt?
I'm going to use my my history in being a hunter, and I'm going to track and see what we can find in this area, unless the animals are smart and left the area because they know it's this time of year. The hobbits.
All right, so you're just going to track for like the first thing you find? Is that what your plan is, or how are you going to select your prey?
Okay, so what I'm going to do is track game to a point where like natural movement is, right? Because most animals use the same tracks. They take the easiest path and then find the biggest track, and then we'll follow that.
All right. So you and Rose begin traveling outside of Wayside and back out into the sea of grass, away from their agriculture. Eventually, you see the eponymously named creek, Skelos Creek, running not too far away from the town proper. And you begin tracking down the banks of Skelos Creek, and you see basically a small bend in the creek as it bends north and west. And here the water pools up nicely and it allows for a nice drinking kind of trough. You recognize this is a place that many animals would stop to drink at. And there are many tracks here to your eye as you begin scouring them. Rose, are you assisting him to find these tracks, or what are you doing?
Yep, I am assisting.
All right, so Rose assists you. Please roll survival wisdom at advantage to find the biggest tracks that you can.
I got 19.
Ooh. You find deep, heavy hooves underneath like tracks of smaller animals. They're about a foot wide, and they're deep and very heavy. You can tell immediately that this must be a very large creature. You began tracking them out into the grasslands, finding your way deeper and deeper into the sea of grass. Eventually, you come across a very obvious track that is where the grasses have been trampled down so consistently that you see this like path of a very large creature leading out into the sea. As you creep along stealthily, I want both of you to give me stealth dexterity checks to make sure that you mask yourselves away from this creature and its pack as you approach.
So I take it that we would be I have tracked creatures before. We would be close enough that I would say it's not like an hour away, but the tracks are actually warm and we might encounter it like in under an hour, right?
Yes.
That's a possibility.
Seems very fresh.
Because then I would prepare myself by before we go into the sneak mode, if that's possible, by casting a spell on myself and then starting to sneak.
Sure.
If I can.
What do you cast to help aid you as you approach these trails?
So what I'm going to do is I touch my neck where my rose is, and those little vines sprout from the ground, and they wrap around Rose's legs pretty much, and then they up her, underneath her clog. I guess is not that easy to see, and then they kind of disappear. Mm-hmm. And it's difficult to tell because she doesn't look that different from her normal being. But as she as her rose opens and she sneezes another time, right, and her cloak falls down and she crawls out from underneath. You actually see that the white wolf is covered in green vines and looks like looks more like a wooden wolf this time as she uses bark skin on herself.
All right. You've taken the form of this wolf with barkish skin as you begin to prowl your way through the grassland near Sambar.
And I guess it's difficult for when she looks normal. She already looks like she kind of has bark skin on, so it's hard to tell, right? It's hard to tell
Fair
if
enough.
you're not an expert.
Yes.
I'll pick up your cloak and I'll like chuck it in my bag so we don't have to come back for it.
Okay. Perfect.
I appreciate it.
You make your way stealthily down. Rose, please.
I'm gonna
give
roll
me...
the check though.
Yes, please do.
Roll.
Oh, how does it work? I don't get. Ugh.
You
So
get the
it's sometimes
physical
difficult to
stats of
do.
the. You get the physical stats of the creature that you
Right.
turned into. So
But I keep my proficiencies. Is
you
that how
keep
it
your
works?
proficiencies and your mental stats. So if you're proficient in stealth, then you get your proficiency bonus, and you get the dexterity bonus of the wolf that you transformed into.
11.
An 11. Okay. You begin stalking the prey through the grasslands, trying to stay south so that the easterly kind of wind doesn't blow your scent into them, and you try to stay low down into the grass. You sneak up, and you eventually find yourselves in like a little clearing of beaten down grass, and you see these incredibly large, almost mammoth-like creatures. They look very similar to the aurochs that were pulling the Split Tails Ranch carts, or not pulling the carts, but that were being driven to the Split Tails Ranch previously. However, these are not as well kept. They seem wild, and their horns are twisted and scary and strong. But they're sitting there just quietly munching on the sea of grass around them. Seem to be unnoticed to you. There are exactly 3 of these creatures as you approach.
I like lean down to like towards Rose's wolf form, and I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna drag that back?
I lick my nose. I look at you expectantly.
Yeah, I'll ready my bow and arrow, and we'll get within. What's my range on a bow?
Quite a bit.
It's like 150 feet, and then I think 600 for long range.
I believe that's correct. That rings true to me without looking it up.
I think we'll get like 100 feet because I don't want to be too far. If they start running,
Okay.
we're gonna be fucked, right?
If you have
Like,
sharpshooter, then you can attack up to 600 without disadvantage.
not there yet. We're
Okay.
gonna get.
He hasn't broken anything.
One more level. Give him one more level.
Yeah,
Yeah, give me
sharpshooter
a-
is so
give me a little
stupid.
bit. But yeah, I'll ready my shot. I guess we'll go for a surprise attack sort of dealio on it.
Okay.
I'll let Rose get a little bit closer, maybe.
How far can you double move and still reach them,
Sneaking will
Rose?
be half speed.
Double move, so I have 40 feet normal
You have 40
movement.
feet normal movement, so you have to be within 80 feet. And for a surprise round, I'll let you make like a charge-esque attack, where you double
Okay.
move and like try to overbear or attack this mammoth. So you could be within 80 feet to launch your surprise.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right.
All right.
You begin to prowl low down, getting within 80 feet. You believe that Rose has gotten within range. You just pulling out your bow and shooting?
Yep.
All right. You guys get a surprise round. Pick your target and go nuts.
We'd go for the male, so he'd be
Alright.
biggest.
You
And
you
do I
find
get
the
advantage?
biggest, horniest one you can, and you shoot it.
Yep, I'm gonna shoot the ball.
All right.
Alright. Do I get advantage because we're stealth?
You definitely have advantage. You are surprising them. You have advantage. Roll for it. A 26.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that definitely hits. Please roll some damage.
10 piercing, and
Uh-huh.
then I'm going to action surge and shoot again.
Oh, damn! Okay. You fire your bow. You rapidly put another one in. Fire again.
Does this one have advantage still? Because we're still. Or is it
Yes,
after the first
absolutely.
one?
Take
Yeah?
your advantage on it. I think technically you only get it once, but I think this is fine. A 24 for
Yeah,
5 more points of damage. This thing like rears up in pain as you have shot it twice in its like haunches. It is a huge creature and it roars. It's like deep kind of guttural like.
Yeah, I'll run 30 feet towards it.
You move up 30 feet towards it. Rose,
Yeah.
it's your turn in the surprise round. You begin rushing forward towards this creature. What do you
Right.
do?
I rush forward, and I guess as it goes back and roars, I try to go for its throat. With the bite attack, which is only a 10. I guess that's a miss, right?
A 10
Yeah,
is,
more
in
is
fact,
that.
a miss. As you rush forward and try to leap and bite it, you only get, like, the skin on its big, like, trunk-like legs, and it's tough, and your fangs don't sink in very well.
Right.
And you just kind of slide past it, engaged with this large, mammoth-like creature. And with that, we need to roll initiative.
Alright. Alright. 22.
A 22. All right.
Oh my god, I'm rolling so average today, except for the one natural 20 plus that one, but everything else is a 10 today. It's like 10, 10, 11, 10.
They are going on 3, so both of you go first. Sambar, you're first to react as these things begin to roar with like pain and fear as this wolf is in there. What do you do?
Alright, I'm gonna fire another longbow shot.
Okay, you knocked another arrow and fire for a 23. You hit.
Damage. Alright.
For 7
piercing.
more piercing damage. Woo! You have taken away a good amount of health as your aim is true and you continue to sink these arrows into the like deep fleshy bit of its chest and haunches. You can tell that it's slowed and hurt.
Where were these rolls in the last fight?
You didn't have a +8 in the last fight. Rose, you are
Right.
next. What do you do?
I'm gonna try to go for another bite. 16?
16, you hit.
Cormac had +7. That didn't save him.
That's true.
For 7 damage, and it has to. I mean, it's very strong, but it still has to do a DC 11 strength saving throw, I guess.
Yes.
You never know.
Okay, let me double check its strength here real quick.
I really hope it fails and just gets knocked down by a wolf.
There's always hope.
It fails. Yeah. So like it's staggered a little bit from these arrow shots, and it's kind of like weak and rolling and trying to figure out what's going on. You jump up as a wolf and you grab it by like whatever you can latch onto, just up near its haunches, near its head and neck area. You just whipping your body weight around as this large wolf, and you drag this creature down to the ground with an enormous thud. And as you do that, it becomes the other's turn. The other two are going to make a quick determination of which direction they run.
I thought morale check. I was like, what the heck?
They just sprint away, and they begin charging in various directions away from you, moving at a very rapid pace for as large a creature as they are. The whole ground seems to shake around you as they get to their full momentum and just charge off. One far to the north, one excuse me, one to the southwest, away from you. The one that is hurt and on the ground stands up and in a fit of fear and rage begins to rake its head back and forth with its twisted, curled horns raking across at the wolf in front of it. And that is going to be 15 to hit you.
That is a miss, actually, I
That is a
believe.
miss. Okay, well, you hop away from this creature as it waves its tusks back and forth, and it used half its movement to get up. It's going to take its next half movement to begin rushing directly away from the wolf in front of it as fast as it can go. I believe provoking an attack of opportunity from you if you want it.
I'll try my very best to go for its hind legs as it rushes away, I guess.
Yeah.
15.
15 hits it.
7.
7 points of damage. Dang. You rip into the hide of this creature, leaving a long, bloody trail with your fangs down its side, and you can tell it leaves and rushes away with a noticeable limp, barely getting any distance from you in its panic and its pain. Sambar, you are at the top of the round. You see all of this happen in front of you. What do you do?
I run closer. Obviously, it's moved away, so I'm still in a ranged. I'll fire another bow, see if I can get it through the
All
back.
right. Yes.
Come on, hit the spine. Ah,
You
10.
miss. Your bow shot, while accurate, misses what your precise aim. You just hit it in the back in a very like well furred, well fleshy area. It's just a flesh wound and doesn't really do much damage to the creature. Is that the end of your turn? Yes.
I
Rose.
don't have extra attack yet. Just wait.
Yeah, you see this creature trying to rush away from you in pain and panic. It's bloody and limping. What do you do?
How far away is it?
It got 30 feet from you.
Right, so
with
I can
half
just
its
move up
movement.
I can just move another 30 feet and try to attack it
You
again, right?
absolutely
I
can,
move up to it. I have 40 feet of movement, so I'll try to snap at it again.
And
Actually,
you
that's not.
strike
Hold
it.
on, I don't have advantage. I have normal, so it would still be a 19 though.
A
It's still
19 would still definitely hit it. Yes,
Alright.
you strike it, and any amount of damage at all will kill it. So, how do you bring down this beast as it runs away from you?
Go on,
Well,
be
let
a
me
true
think.
predator. Run up, grab it by the throat, and pull it to the ground.
Yeah, I think how it happens though is that since I get it from behind, right? The first thing is not that I get the throat, but I actually bite it like in the back, right? Probably in the buttock. Like I bite it and then I like claw myself up, and then I leap over it and like bite it in the throat and just throw my entire weight to the side. So we both like crush down on the ground together.
Yes, you fight your way up to its throat, the very acrobatic Wolfie dodges, and drag this thing to the ground, ripping its throat out in the process. It dies at your paws, and you now have this huge-sized Auroch dead and bleeding on the ground in front of you. And you are tasked with getting this back to camp. And I think that we have reached a good stopping point for our second hour here. We will take a quick 5-minute break or so, and we will come right back. So I hope to see you all then.